So we are on a journey because one of the things you realize, and we've been talking about this at Chapelwood for a lot of years, that churches have a tendency to think about what goes on in the camp. I like the language. This is our camp. This is our tribe, and we think in terms of walls. We've through the years tried to press out of that. We've tried to move beyond the boundaries of tribe, beyond the boundaries of camp, and think differently about how do we reach outside of the walls? How do we reach outside of our own boundaries, our own limitations? And what we're talking about doing, and what I want to hear from you all around this circle, is what we're brainstorming and what we're dreaming about: a new worship experience, a new way of reaching out into the community that is, it's beautiful, it's creative, and it's a way of thinking about inviting people from all over this city to now be able to consider, oh, Chapelwood, that's the kind of church, that's the kind of experience, that's the kind of spirituality I want to be plugged into.
Well, I think initially what we realize is that the gospel is a story that we involve ourselves in, that we're drawn into. And so we're beginning thinking about the service really from a sense of storytelling. A story that really involves us all, incorporates us all, and then inspires us to live a life that's worthy of that story, worthy of that calling, as the gospel might say. One of the things I realized that religion, the original word, is for ligament. It's to be a connector. And so what we're attempting to do is something that Chapelwood has always done, which is to connect ourselves and be a connected tissue in the world that we live.
If this really resonates with you, let me speak to a deeper meaning of why, right? And points it back to the gospel and what Jesus is doing. And I feel like a lot of what is at our heart and at our center is pointing to those things in culture and pointing to the arts and saying hey, let us further that. You think it's important and it resonates with you, let us explain a little bit more why and what God is doing in the midst of that as well.
To create a service, or to create a space, to create an environment that allows people to connect with each other, the ability to tell stories, the ability to connect with people in an artistic way is very important.
As everyone was saying, really this is a cool approach, I feel like. Not just musically, but just the aspect of storytelling, the aspect of being the church, not really opening our doors, but really leaving our doors, going out to people, especially in the city that we live in, right? I feel like that is the approach that we have to take, as the church.
That's what I love about the process that we're involved in, is because so much of what religion has become a plug and play. Right? And we just plug it in and this is church. But the gospel is this creative, crazy, imaginative thing that says, come and see. That's the first thing Jesus ever says. He doesn't ask people, what do you believe? Then I'll tell you if you belong, if you say the right words. He says, no, come and see. And so in some ways, this is a return to that. Come and see. Come and see what God can do, what God is doing in our midst. And it's not just in the church, like you said, John. It really is in the world. The Spirit of God's been poured out on everyone, on all flesh, is what the scripture says. And so what we're doing is just animating and really being a part of that thing that God's doing in the world. And doing that through the arts, doing that through storytelling, doing that through film, doing that through worship. But worship and music will play a different part in some of this as well. And in the midst of that, creating a community that will be for the artists, but also for folks that have been at Chapelwood for years. Will be for folks that we have never met, but will also be for intimate family members.
And this is a season right now where God is allowing us to do a new thing if we have the wherewithal to step into something new. And that's what we're trying to do, is create something new. God is birthing something new in the midst of a season that seems to be shutting everything down. And that's really exciting to me, is life in the midst of no life, where life cannot bloom, the dry desert, and yet something new is happening. So I'm really grateful for all of you all, and looking forward to how this is gonna just grow and impact our community and our church. I really am. Thank you all.
Thank you, John.